And he said, draw not nigh hither. This is God talking. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Again, I'm reminded of the fact that this is likely something like a call to humility. I was looking at the Sermon on the Mount the other day, and Christ says in the Sermon on the Mount that those who are poor in spirit are blessed. There's many people who are blessed, but the poor in spirit are blessed. And the question is, what does that mean? And it means something like those who have been brought low enough to be humble enough to be ready to receive. And I think that's what's being echoed here, is that that's part of the reflection of Moses' nakedness.
That's the best explanation I ever heard.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It took me only 40 years to think it up.
That really helps. Because I've never thought, the poor are so special. They're wonderful poor and lousy poor.
No, it's definitely a reference to pride. The poor in spirit are not prideful and narcissistic. I look in Bible Hub, which is a great site.
Right.
You can see 50 translations simultaneously. Right. Yes. And so you get the full connotation of the phrase. And if you look at all the different translations, you can see that it's definitely a call to this particular kind of humility. Because one of the things I learned when I was teaching my course, Maps of Meaning, was that you could decide that you were going to be friends with what you knew, or you could be friends with what you didn't know, right? And so if you're friends with what you know, you try to prove your point all the time. And I'll fall prey to that from time to time. But once you realize the depths of your ignorance and you think, well, what I don't know is inexhaustible, and my troubles are inexhaustible, so I better have an inexhaustible source to call on, and I can certainly call on the inexhaustibility of my own ignorance. And it reverses everything, because all of a sudden the fact that you don't know is actually your greatest hope, because there's always the possibility that if you lowered yourself, Jung said, modern men do not see God because they do not look low enough. It's so brilliant. And if you can make friends with your own ignorance, then you open up the landscape of revelation to everything you don't know. Well, that's so good if you have a problem, because the reason you have a problem is because you don't know something. And so this is definitely an injunction there, is that the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. And if you're on holy ground, and maybe you're always on holy ground, you should have your damn shoes off and your eyes open. And yeah, well, that'd be a terrifying thing to apprehend. All right.